It sure was, it sure was. Starting off here in the NFL, we had a pretty crazy week. You can see the scores posted. Started on a great Thursday night. First primetime game that had been, at least first Thursday primetime game that had been really good, I think, this year. And the Seahawks take on the Cowboys. They lose in very close fashion. It was tight the entire game. It feels like forever ago. I guess it was 6 days ago. But Jason, from what you remember, what do you think about how the Cowboys and Seahawks played? Do you think the Seahawks like are kind of putting something together to come down the stretch, or is it pretty much too late for them?
No, I think they'll be able to put something together. They have two hard games coming up. Probably not going to win, but the last three games pretty easy games. I think they'll be able to make it to the playoffs. Um, I liked what I saw from DK Metcalf. He took that next step, and I think he's going to continue to improve and win me a fantasy championship.
Hey, there you go. It was a great game to watch. It honestly was refreshing to turn it on Thursday and be like, okay, I'm actually having fun here. I'm actually enjoying watching. Moving on to the Sunday games, we have the Broncos fall to the Texans. Jerry, what happened?
What
Uh,
happened?
yeah, Russell Wilson finally had a bad game. He had 3 picks, and on the last offensive play for Denver, they decide to try to put a jump ball to their third string tight end for some reason in the back of the end zone. And unfortunately, PS2 went down. I don't think he came back in the game, so Nico Collins was able to pop off even in the absence of Tank Dell. But hey, 1-score game doesn't put us out of the playoff race. Would have been nice to get that one, but we still got 5 games to claw back into it.
Hey, that's right. That's right. It's gonna be tight in the AFC. It is cooking. The kitchen is hot. The Colts beat the Titans in OT. Crazy game. There was a blocked punt touchdown, and then a pick two, not pick six. So if you're going for a 2 point conversion and it's intercepted and ran back, scoring there is only worth 2 points. So a pick two after that. Then nobody scored after 25 for a while, and then Titans kick a field goal. Colts win it right at the very end after Gardner Minshew put together a heck of a drive to go win that game. Chargers Patriots. Patriots are the only team this year to not win a single game when holding the opponent to only 10 points. Every other team is 53-0 in holding their opponent
Wow.
uh, under 10 points. Patriots 0-3. So it's pretty lopsided stat there. Bill Belichick probably on the way out, Jerry.
Absolutely. How do you how do you hold a team to 6 points and lose? I I don't care who you put back there. You got Mac Jones and Bailey Zappi. They both are dog. You know what? They stink, man. They stink. That team is so bad. And yeah, Belichick's got to be. If it's not on the other side, Brandon Staley, who's in the hottest seat in the NFL right now, it's got to be Bill Belichick.
It's crazy because you win all these Super Bowls. You got Tom Brady. Everyone thinks goat, goat. He's the goat. To now, you only have 2 wins on the season, and you're probably getting fired. And the only reason you're not already fired is because you have won those Super Bowls. You've earned a little bit of that tenure. But it's crazy to see Bill Belichick, and then see Patriots, and then see two and what would it be now? 2-10. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, 2-10 next to their record. Pretty incredible. Not gonna lie, I love to see it after watching them dominate for so many years.
Official end of a dynasty.
Yeah,
Officially.
thank
Finally.
goodness. Thank goodness. So Lions take care of business against the Saints. That one was a 10-point game. Saints kind of cut it back in the fourth quarter. A big snoozer for the Falcons Jets game. Falcons beat the Jets 13-8. Cardinals. Cardinals, huh? Take out the Steelers 24-10. Are the Steelers bad, Jason? I thought Matt Canada being fired, I thought that saved everything.
It saves nothing because your team is fighting so hard to be so good and end up being average. And you know what? We don't want to Chase Young over here. And guess what happens when you ain't got to Chase Young? You can't win no games.
Yeah, it's pretty absurd to see that the Steelers are as as bad as they are. I think maybe you might have been looking at the Commanders there, but or were the Steelers in the running for Chase Young? I don't know.
No. Their coach said, We don't ever want a guy like you to take.
Oh, that's
Ah.
right. That's right. That's right. Jason knew. We didn't know. Jason knew. No, that is true. He didn't say he didn't want somebody. He said, "I'll never be able to draft someone as good as you."
No, he said I never want to be in a position to get someone like you.
Yeah, meaning he didn't want to be didn't want his team to be bad enough to be able to draft someone of his caliber.
Right. And here's what happens. This is what happens. When you don't ever lose games, you can't ever get good players unless they want to come to your organization. And does anyone want to be up in Pittsburgh? I don't think so.
So they're just like fully mediocre just all the time.
All the time.
I see what
No.
you're saying. I mean, they still got TJ Watt and Alex Highsmith. I think those guys are pretty good, but I see what you're saying. I think their biggest problem is on offense. They can't get the ball rolling. Deontay Johnson looks completely uninterested. The Steelers, thank goodness, they look like they suck, and I hope they don't make the playoffs. Up next, you have the Dolphins and the Commanders. Dolphins beat the Commanders 45-15, absolutely blew them away. Then you have the Browns at Rams. Browns
Talk to us,
lose
Ryan.
another one. No, it's just like that score looks like we absolutely got slaughtered. Not the case. We had the ball with 5 minutes left in the game, down 1 point because our kicker missed an extra point, and Joe Flacco decides to throw an arm punt on first down. Like, played an excellent game, like 60%, 65% completion percentage, 2 touchdowns, looked great, and then literally just says, I think Elijah Moore's down there and chucks it up. And John Johnson has the easiest interception, 43-yard return. Then we get the ball back, or they score a touchdown. We're down 8. We get the ball back, get the ball. It's 3rd and inches, which actually was a first down. Then they call a phantom ball movement penalty for a 5-yard penalty, 2 incompletions, turn it over on downs. They score another touchdown. We get the ball back, and then Joe Flacco decides to run backward and get sacked twice in a row for a safety. So, I mean, total fourth quarter collapse, but I think at the end of the day, Browns still 7-5. Got a chance this weekend against the Jags. We'll get to that here in a minute. But the Rams on a path could potentially make the playoffs. Up next, you have the Buccaneers taking out the Panthers. Panthers are terrible, no question there. Then we had the most surprising beatdown of the entire weekend. 49ers destroy the Eagles. Jerry, what happened to the Eagles, dude? I thought they were dogs at home. They can't be dogs at home. They're supposed to be good. They got stomped.
They got manhandled in their own house. I know Lane Johnson was taking care of Nick Bosa, but man, the way that Debo and CMC were carrying that team on offense was just it was a beautiful piece of art to see. But I don't know what happened to the Eagles. They come out in the first quarter. They look pretty darn good. They are able to drive the ball down the field. Unfortunately, unable to capitalize. They had to settle for a couple of field goals in the first quarter. But they held Brock Purdy to, I think he was at like maybe 10, 15 yards in the first quarter passing. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Debo, Ayuk, CMC, even George Kittle was getting involved. He had a heck of a day too. And they just completely blew the Eagles out of the water. I know Jalen Hurts was out for a couple of drives, was finally able to come back in. Yeah, man, I don't know. They are on suspect watch for sure after that one, and we got a heck of a matchup again this week against the Cowboys in Dallas. So we'll see if they can put something together.
6 straight possessions with touchdowns for the 49ers. Absolutely unreal. You had the Chiefs traveling to the Packers. Chiefs lose tight, controversial, but Mahomes himself came out and said, can't get all the penalties, can't let the penalties be the reason you win or lose. Kind of went both ways. I think the Chiefs are still fine. They still have Patrick Mahomes. They still have a great defense. And then the last game, overtime loss. Jaguars lose on Monday night. First Monday night football. First home Monday night football game since Barack Obama was president. And the Jaguars lose to Jake Browning. Jason, how does this happen? I mean, all 3 of our teams just not great. Not great performances.
This was not a good week.
Let me start by saying Jake Browning is the greatest high school quarterback of all time, all right?
Yes, that translates.
It definitely does, because what he did was whoop on this, like, oh my goodness. he was making precision passes. They were getting the ball out of their hands quick. Our defense was very slow to react. Everything was just not going well. Even when Trevor Lawrence was in the game, they were pushing down the ball. And I didn't expect that. I don't think anyone really expected that from Jake Browning. But he showed he's capable of controlling an offense. And I think I saw a video of him. He was working out with. Why did my brain? Joe Shiesty, all offseason and with his quarterback guru, and I think it helped. So, but that being said, we are out a quarterback, wide receiver, Christian Kirk. We are out left tackle for a little bit. A lot of injuries, a bad game. Bad. It was a bad start to like our playoff push. So like you want to win that game without their starting quarterback, and now we have to go play the Browns, play the Ravens, and without Trevor Lawrence, those are going to be tough games. Those are going to be tough games.
Very tough. It is coming down the stretch here. Basically, what you do the next 5 weeks, because that's all there is left, folks, of the regular season. Thanks for watching this video of the Unnamed Sports Show. Don't forget to like and subscribe and follow us on social media at Unnamed Sports S. Also, be sure to join us live Wednesdays at 7 p.m.